Guys, guys, Tenkaichi 4 is freaking coming out, bro. Who would have fucking guessed this shit? Who would have guessed this shit? No one knew about it, bro. No one knew. There was no leaks, no nothing. I don't know how they hid it. They probably had the like game developers at fucking like gunpoint. Like, if you leak this shit, your ass is done. I don't know how the fuck this shit didn't get leaked. No one was expecting it. They're saying like, okay, yeah, Super's coming back this year. They were wrong. Xenoverse 3 is going to get announced. They were wrong. Kakarot DLC is coming out. Correct. But still, it's, Kakarot DLC. The game's great, but it's nothing close to freaking Tenkaichi 4. Like, it's not. But like, guys, when I saw that shit, when I saw it over the like last weekend or so, I literally screamed. I wanted to record like a reaction to it, but I was like, you know what? I don't even want to record my reaction because I want this shit to be genuine. Like, I wouldn't want to just like watch the trailer and then record me watching the trailer again. Like, that's not legit. If I had to do it, I had to do it right. And unfortunately, I missed my opportunity to do it right. But you guys, just so you know, I was screaming. Probably the loudest I've ever been to a freaking game announcement. It was insane. But like, what I'm here today is just, as you can see by the title, I just want to talk about what I think is going to be in this game, more so from like, let's say, like gameplay, story mode, roster, DLC, music, graphics, all that kind of stuff. CAC, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, let's get started with the list. So first we got story mode. I think that the story mode is probably, well, of course it's going to start with Z. Like, Z is just a part of every Dragon Ball Z game. There's no way you're not starting any Dragon Ball game nowadays without Z in it. So you got Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, Cell Saga, Boo, all the characters from that. So that's already a pretty decent roster, of course. Any Dragon Ball game can just start with that, and they're like, okay, we're good for right now. We can add characters on later. But then, of course, they showed Super Saiyan Blue Goku, so of course we're getting Super as well. So all the Super characters that have been shown in the anime, I don't think they're bringing in like Moro or Granola. I don't think they're adding in those guys just yet. Maybe once it gets animated, or it could drop as DLC, but it's not going to be a part of the Super Story mode. So I think we're going to get, of course, Beerus. When he comes in, we're going to get the Resurrection F. We're going to get the Universe 6 tournament. We're going to get Goku Black, Tournament of Power. Maybe recruitment variations of characters. When Goku's recruiting everybody, get some variants on them. Maybe like a Android 18 or Android 17, or maybe varying Frieza, whatever. I'm just putting it out there. There might be a little bit of story mode for that. I'm just putting it out there. But of course, we're getting Tournament of Power, so Jiren, Kefla, Topo, maybe some characters from the other universes, but I highly doubt it. I think like the only potential character that we might get in this game that's like kind of weird, never been done before, is maybe like the Universe 11 God of Destruction, the clown guy, or like maybe Anaraza, just to say hi, I'm here. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. They could literally add anybody at this point. It's in. They could really add it. We might also get Dragon Ball, like the OG Dragon Ball. That might be part of the base story mode, but it's 2023, guys. They probably will just sell it as DLC maybe later on the line. But hopefully, it has a better chance of being in the base game than GT has, I think, at this point. Because OG Dragon Ball, everybody, if you've seen OG Dragon Ball, of course, everybody that's seen it is very passionate about it. But at the same time, it's very old. And so, I think that it being in the Dragon Ball Z games and whatnot, I think it's just kind of mandatory at this point. It's, it's the original. It's where it all started. So selling it as a DLC, I think, will be kind of like a slap in the face to us that already played through it in Dragon Ball Budokai, Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 3, and so forth, and all the games that I spun off of the Dragon Ball name. Of course, we're getting it as DLC in Kakarot, which I think in that game it should have started from the OG Dragon Ball as well. But that's a whole other topic for another day. Um, but I think OG Dragon Ball has a chance to be in the main game. Could be a DLC. GT on the other hand, they probably know how much money they could get off of people paying for GT. I'd say that GT also has a chance of being in the main game. But when you think about it, the characters from GT, the characters that people love, like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, people love Super Saiyan 4. But also you got characters like Omega Shenron. I love Omega Shenron. Like he's one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters. I love that character. But then we got Baby, Super Android 17, like good characters, good villains, good characters, good transformations. It has, but I think like at this point, the universe went that route where they sold GT as DLC, and people bought the shit out of it because people love Super Saiyan 4. So I think that also has a way in on it potentially being DLC for the game. But hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's just the main game. But who knows at this point? All we've seen so far is Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So we have no idea. Once we get more, news about it, hopefully they announce what sagas are in the game and what sagas will potentially be DLC. I highly doubt they'll say, "Oh yeah, this is coming on DLC later." But hopefully they say like, "Okay, Z is in, Super's in, OG Dragon Ball's in, GT's in, or GT will be sold at a later date." That'd be cool for them. But yeah, that's why I think it's going to be coming in story mode. I think that they also probably will sell the majority of the movies as DLC, other than like the mandatory characters that have already been made in recent Dragon Ball games, like Janemba's and a whole bunch of recent Dragon Ball games. You can't get away from Broly. He literally forced himself into canon, so he smashed his way into canon, like literally did. So probably gonna get Broly in the base game. Janemba probably gonna get like Cooler. Cooler's very popular. Um, maybe Turles. I like Turles, but he probably sold as DLC. Um, Slug, of course, no one really cares about Slug like that, unfortunately. But he'll probably be sold as DLC, and all the other movie villains and whatnot, all the non-important movie villains, really, like Android 13. No one really. People like Android 13 because he's a meme, but he's eh. But anyway, that's why I think majority of movies probably be DLC. Some will not be, but who knows? Music, of course, gonna be godlike. The music's gonna be so good. It's gonna probably have some fucking killers from Dragon Ball Z. It's gonna have some probably killers from Super. Like I can't wait. I can't wait. Graphics. What is there to be said? We saw it. That shit look crispy as hell. That shit looks like if Jump Force wasn't such a shit game. That shit looks better than Jump Force's graphics, dude. And I can't wait. God, like it looks so good. If they can get that game into gameplay, or that teaser into gameplay, I don't even know if my computer can handle it. Like I feel like my computer would just like, oh, put all this shit to low, or you're not playing this game. Which I hope that my computer can play it on release, but who knows? I really want to play this game. I might buy a PS5 just for that game. But from the gameplay, what I think is what they're going to do, I honestly want it to be like a mix between Raging Blast and Tenkaichi 3, if it's possible. I don't want this game to be taken as seriously as, let's say, like, Fighter Z, and so it's a fighting game. Because Tenkaichi 3, it was a fighting game, but it wasn't so like in depth as fighting games. You get what I'm saying? Like in Fighter Z, there's iframes, there's counters. You can block low, block high. You can if your character's not in a certain position, they can't be hit. There's a lot of different things that fighter games do that arena brawlers or just 3D action games don't do or don't have to worry about. So I think if they can see like a see if they can find a way between Tenkaichi 3 and Raging Blast, make it like it's refined Tenkaichi 3 that's a little bit taken a little bit more seriously, but still has that arcade feeling, because that's what people are looking for. People People are looking for Tenkaichi 4. They don't want no craziness. They don't want it to be a super competitive fighting game. Sure, they can play online and whatnot. Who doesn't want to play online against people? You know, people are just gonna be playing like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta or like Kid Buu. You know how much of a menace Kid Buu was. And while me, I'm just gonna be playing Krillin online, just beating people. But hey, that shit's gonna be fire when you get to play it online. People love Raging Blast online. So I just wanted to make sure that gameplay is still like people that don't take it too seriously will still have a chance online, you know, just like in Raging Blast or Tenkaichi 3, where it wasn't so serious. But enough about that. Let's talk about the roster. Now, this is probably what will get people upset, but I highly doubt that we're not getting, or that we're getting anywhere close to what Tenkaichi 3 was. I don't even think we're getting close to what Tenkaichi 2 was. And Tenkaichi 2, if I'm not mistaken, I think had like close to 90 characters. I don't think we're getting 90 characters. And Tenkaichi 3 had like 130, and we're definitely not getting that many. I think what they'll start with is probably like over 50, maybe like 60, 62 at most, maybe. I think 60 is a good number to start at. You know, that covers probably most of the Z villains and heroes. That covers probably most of the major people in Super, with also adding, you know, a couple of movie villains or like a couple of movie characters and maybe like some OG stuff or whatever, you know. I think that's a good baseline. Maybe they'll be nice and giving like, you know, DLC characters for like free, which I highly doubt. But hey, you gotta put it in. But they'll probably, of course, they'll be adding in DLC characters like it's a Dragon Ball game that had like 130 characters back in 2007. Like that's insane to think about. Even though some were like just copies of another, but still 130 characters. That's a lot of characters. But yeah, I don't think the roster's gonna be anything crazy. Which is not. It doesn't need to be crazy on launch. It really doesn't. People need to learn their characters. Play your favorite characters. People are not going to be like, oh man, this game doesn't have Zarbon in it. Oh my god, this game doesn't have Gildo. I can't play as Gildo. Oh my god, man. Where's the Parappa fucking dancers? If I didn't butcher their name, why can't I play as Jace? like it's none of those characters are really people's favorites, you know. Sorry if I disrespected anybody's favorite characters, but you know who the main characters are. Sorry. So what I think in like the concept of what DLC would probably be, of course, like I've already said, movie villains, movie heroes, Dragon Ball Super villains. This might be the first game where we actually get content for, you know, the recent Dragon Ball Super chapters. Like this, like I said earlier, it's not going to have Moro or Granola in the base game, but DLC. This might be the game where we actually get Moro in a game, unless Xenoverse 2, for some reason, releases Moro next year. But this might be the game where we actually get Moro, and people have been waiting to play as Moro. I've been hearing that Moro is like their second favorite super villain that has been like, you know, released in recent times, and that's because people just fuck with the character. Like, you know, he's a better version of Babidi. He could still box, like he could still fight, but he also like he has magic. He went to Namek. He just hard as fuck. Like he had a really cool design. He had such a unique design. At first we were like, whoa, like this guy is pretty cool. And he doesn't look like just a carbon copy of like Cell or like Majin Buu. He had his own look until, of course, he started fusing with, you know, that one guy, and he started becoming just look like a Janemba clone or whatever. But that's besides the point. But yeah, Moro. People say Moro's like posted as being as good as Goku Black, and people love Goku Black. I love Goku Black. That whole arc was very well done. In the manga, I'd say it was done better. Super, it did it fine. But in the manga, Goku Black is top tier. Yeah, we can get Moro, get Granola, we can get Gas. Might be able to get some of the heaters. If probably not the heaters, because they didn't really do much. But yeah, Gas, Granola, Um, that guy he fused. I forget his name. What the Mora fused with. I can't. I think his name was 13. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his name was 13. We can get him in the game. We can get like another version of Bardock, like the Super Bardock instead of the Z Bardock. Which of course I would love both Bardocks to be in the game. I love Bardock as a character. But yeah, and we could potentially even get some heroes content. Like I know some people really fuck with heroes. I particularly don't really watch heroes. It's just not for me. I feel like it's too much fan service. Just too much, because a lot of shit that happens in it doesn't make sense. Like I think this was like evil Saiyan named Cumber or whatever. He's fighting Goku and Vegeta. He dogs them. Then he fights Gogeta. He dogs them. And then later on, he fights like Goku again, and Goku's putting in a fight. It didn't make any sense. Like what? I like how was Goku able? How did Goku get beat up, and then he came back weaker, and now he's fighting? It didn't make any sense. And then you got like characters like Golden Cooler. I mean, it's cool, but Golden Cooler. You got like characters like Zamasu with like half his face covered. It was too much. Super Saiyan 3, Goku Black Rose. It is too much. It's just too much. But some of the cooler heroes content, like I'd say, if they added Cumber, I wouldn't be mad. If they added like Hearts, I wouldn't be mad. You know, even Golden Cooler, if they really wanted to, but I don't think the game needs it. Just some, so that people will be happy. You know, I don't particularly need it, but I know people will appreciate it, so I'm just putting it out there. And then last but not least, I want to talk about character creation. Now, I don't want to make anybody upset about this, but this is, my opinion. So I don't want you to base your opinion off my opinion. I'm just saying what I think is going to happen with character creation. There's not going to be any. No, no CAC. No, 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 no. The game doesn't need it. Just give me a good roster of Dragon Ball characters. We don't need to make our own character. We don't need to put Xenoverse. We don't need to join Xenoverse with Tenkaichi. Xenoverse should be its own thing. Tenkaichi should be its own thing. And I know people be upset like, "Oh, I love my CAC. Why don't you like CAC?" Problem with CAC is that it would just be too much for Tenkaichi to handle. In Xenoverse, it's a lot easier because you have to grind up for skills. You have to buy all the DLC. I don't want to have to buy a DLC for my CSCs. And of course, you could just say, "Well, don't buy it." But then that adds to the problem. You're going to be dealing with the people that do buy it, and you're going to be having to deal with these crazy ass characters while you're just playing original characters. I just particularly don't think it needs to be in Tenkaichi. What they should do is have it like Raging Blast, where in Raging Blast you could like interchange abilities for different characters, And I thought that was a really good system. I still play Raging Blast every now and then, to this day, on my PS3. Yes, I still have a PS3. Collecting dust, but I still got it. But I think that would be really cool for it. Definitely, like, even like give like some characters that had like transformations in Budokai to be able to transform in this game. Like, back in the day, Krillin had potential unleash as a couple of his transformations, I think in Budokai 2 and in Budokai 3. I think he had that as transformation. Even I think maybe even in Burst Limit. And Piccolo had transformation as well. Fused with Kami, fused with Nail, and I'm not really sure who else kind of had obscure like transformations. I know in Xenoverse, Krillin had Kaioken for some reason, but that's Xenoverse. I'm saying like Xenoverse should be its own thing. Tenkaichi should be its own thing. It'd just be way better just to have original Dragon Ball characters in Tenkaichi. No CAC. If you want me to go more in depth with it, I can do it in another video. But I really just wanted to talk about what I particularly expect from this game going forward. What I hope to see in this game, because I can't wait for Tenkaichi 4 to drop out. I love Tenkaichi. I had all the Budokais. I completed them all except that last one. What was the last one? It was like Dragon Ball Infinite. Was it called Infinite? I think it was Dragon Ball Infinite something. I don't know. People probably played it. It was very obscure. It came very late into the timeline and whatnot. I just didn't get a chance to play it. But I had Tenkaichi 2 and I had Tenkaichi 3. And I played Tenkaichi 1, but it was at my cousin's house. But I completed every Budokai Tenkaichi game. Every Budokai game, every Tenkaichi game. I completed them bitches. They were fun as fuck. So that's all I want from Tenkaichi 4. Just be a good, fun Dragon Ball game. Hey, that's all everybody wants. Just a good Dragon Ball game. People have been really wanting like a really fun Dragon Ball game. Some people were disappointed with Kakarot because they were kind of like, just another retelling of Dragon Ball Z. Who cares? Some people were disappointed with Fighters, which I like Fighters too. I don't know really why people were disappointed in it, but it's just like Fighters not really my cup of tea, so I'm not gonna play it. So that's them. And then we got Breakers, which I like Breakers. But I know the majority of people don't like Breakers, so I can respect why they don't like it. So we've been kind of on a drought with Dragon Ball games. Like the last game was Breakers. The DLC for Kakarot has been kind of slow. I know Bardock just came out, but I haven't even played it because I think like the price tag is just way too high for the season pass for that game. Unless it's really good, but I think $20 for Bardock DLC is a little bit too much. Maybe like it feels like 15 or 10, or I'll just get it on sale someday. But I'm not in a rush to play through Bardock for like 2 hours and be like, oh, well, I'm done now. What else do I have to do? Just I just want to I want to have a good Dragon Ball experience, and I think that Tenkaichi 4 will really be that experience. So I hope you guys like the video. I hope you guys make your own opinions based on my thoughts and whatnot and what I want in this next Dragon Ball game. And just let me know how excited you guys are. I can't wait, so I'm sure you guys can't. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys later.